Hey guys, this is Wellman, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about pitches and how you can find them on the guitar and why that's going to be useful. So I'm going to talk first to the first year students and then to the second. The second year I might make a different video here. So something really important is now that we've been working on finger strength, now that you're feeling more comfortable, we want to get to the point where that's useful. So it's not just that we've built strength, but part of that strength needs to have a point. So when we start looking at chords, where you're playing more than one note at the same time, it's important to know why those chords have the names that they have. So in the PowerPoint video I sent you guys last week, we learned a little bit about pitches, letter names, and things like that we'll go over in greater detail in class. But suffice it to say that every fret and every string on your guitar has a different pitch name. And those pitch names are super important because as we start playing chords, the lowest note that you play is going to be the name of the chord that's coming out. And those chords come in shapes that we'll talk about later. So what I like to do is talk about these bottom two strings and just figure out the names of those notes up to the 5th fret to start. So each one of these frets has a different pitch. Sometimes we call it note generically, but note usually refers to rhythm as well as pitch. But when we start, each string open has a pitch. And there's a mnemonic device that I like to use to remember that. And it's, for the strings, Eddie, 8, Dynamite, good, bye, Eddie. Okay? E, A, D, G, B, D. So you remember that by the monogram. Eddie, 8, Dynamite, good, bye, Eddie. So Eddie, 8, Dynamite, good, bye, Eddie. Okay? So that's how you remember the strings. Now this is something you're going to have to think about and try and recall every day because simply remembering it or having me tell you is not enough to ingrain it so that it's just part of your acquired knowledge. That mnemonic device is going to help a lot. Eddie, 8, Dynamite, good, bye, Eddie. And you can see in my right hand just moving down those strings. You'll notice I'm playing an electric guitar. The strings and those kind of fundamentals are the same as if I were in class playing my classical guitar. So up to the 5th fret, especially if we just learn these bottom two strings, so we have Eddie, 8. That means that the lowest sounding string, the name of that pitch is going to be E. Now if any of you have played piano before, if I showed you where an E is, and you take your hand and you kind of move up those white keys, it's just a note or a pitch every new white key. Well, on the guitar, it's a little bit different because each fret, we also have, if you're a piano player, those black keys that go in between. So we have E, Eddie, and then we kind of count ourselves up the alphabet because the music alphabet starts at A and it goes to G and then it starts over. So if we're starting on E here because that's what string we're on, E, the next note is going to be F. The next note is going to be F sharp. So that's an F with a hashtag, essentially. So E, F, F sharp. The 3rd fret is going to be G. The 4th fret is G sharp, so that's a G with a hashtag. And then the 5th fret is A. And you'll notice that the 5th fret should sound the same as the next string open. So both of those should be A. So again, E, the same as on the next string. So those should be the same. And as we get into tuning, that's going to be really important because we're going to use that knowledge. The next string we have, so first string is Eddie, 8. So this is going to start on the pitch A. A sharp, that's the first fret, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D. Now you'll also notice that that 5th fret and the next open string should sound the same. And again, when we get more into tuning, that'll be really important. So if we're learning just these lowest 2 strings, the names of their pitches, and hopefully you can go over how you would read these if you looked at them in standard music notation. That's also important. But right now, the most important thing for you to know is just the name. So if I come into class and I say, everybody play an F for me, we all did that, that would be correct. Or play an A for me. Some of you might play that, the 5th string open. Some of you might play this 6th string, 5th fret, and both of those are correct. These are in fact the same note. I'm a little out of tune. So what can we use these for? Well, when we're starting to learn chords, whatever the lowest, it's the lowest sounding note is the name of that chord, is the letter name of the chord. So just like pitches have names, so we have E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A, chords have similar letter names. So if I were to play a C, I go A sharp, B, C, there's my lowest note, and I make a chord after that. And there's my C chord, okay? Okay, or I can metal it up a little bit. Okay, if I were to play a G chord, I would try and think of where the lowest G I could think of was. So that would be E, F, F sharp, G. There's my G chord because G is the lowest sounding note. Okay. What about something like E? We have an E string. Okay, so there's our E string. If I were to play E, that's my lowest sounding note. Okay. And those are super important. A is similar. It's going to be an open string. So for my advanced guys watching, you'll notice that I'm only playing major chords right now. Some of you may have looked at E minor already, which is without this finger. Okay. Sometimes I'll say E minor, it looks like Spider-Man, right? You're putting your hands out like this. Or A minor. It actually looks like E. Your fingers are in the same position, but just down one string. Okay? And I can tell what the names of those chords are based on the lowest note that I play. So if I come over here and you see my right hand, here's A minor again, and I'm starting on that open 5th string. Again, Eddie, 8. 8 begins with A. A is the pitch of the open string. And then I bring it back into frame so you can see where my fingers are. There's that A minor chord. Okay? So this is just kind of the basics of putting those pitches from the page onto your guitar. In my view, it's much more important to understand where they go on the guitar before you understand the paper. And mostly that's because you can actually do something with them when you know where they are on the guitar. We can always go back and learn how to read. I like to say, nobody taught you to write before you could speak. So we're learning how to speak, and we're kind of learning how to speak the same language. So remember, pitch is a sound. It's a certain frequency that you'll remember from last week. It also has a letter name, and so we identified all 6 of the open pitches on the guitar. E, that's it for beginners. Take a look at that. I'm hoping you guys can continue to practice and check out some chords and why those are useful. We'll get advanced in the next video. I'm going to talk about I'm going to talk more about scales and how you can use that same kind of knowledge to know what scale you're playing. Okay, guys, talk to you later.